Hey folks, welcome to episode 39 of Bonfire Man. Here's how Bonfire Man works. I am locked to specific chunks in the game. I have to interact with everything in my unlocked chunks exactly once. So that means every tree needs to be chopped, every enemy needs to die, every resource needs to be consumed. When I interact with something, it is exhausted. When something is exhausted, that means I'm not allowed to interact with it again. I'm allowed to randomly unlock a new chunk whenever all of the entities in my current chunks have been so exhausted. When I enter a new chunk, I rest at a bonfire, as in the Souls games. Resting at a bonfire refreshes or unexhausts all of the content in previous chunks that I've already been to. Now I have to exhaust all entities in both the old and new chunks to continue to progress. My objective is to unlock every chunk in RuneScape. According to my estimates, I think that's going to take about 10,000 hours to complete. If you're interested in all the specifics, minutiae, minor rules, exceptions, that kind of a thing, there's a Google Doc in the description that lists all of that. Let's go ahead and get to the playthrough. All right, Pollnivneach is the new chunk. We got to take a magic carpet to get over there, which is going to cross some other chunks and cause some music tracks to unlock. I'm going to head over in that direction right now, though. All right, we're here at the magic carpet. I'm going to have to be fancy with crossing the fog wall here. Let's go to Pollnivneach. I got to quickly bring up the region locker. All right, here comes the music unlocks that we don't want because unfortunately this is technically overland. Oh, maybe there aren't any. Okay, well that's nice. Maybe there's limited desert tracks instead of a dedicated one for every possible chunk. Or maybe the unlocks will happen once we land. That's also possible. All right, crossing the chunk boundary. There it is. May not have timed that perfectly, but you know. All right, you have unlocked a new music track, Dynasty. I can get to the portal. Let's light the bonfire. Sick, and of course, let's rest. And everything is respawned. All right, welcome to Pollnivneach. Let me tell you all about what we're doing here before we do the chunk overview. All right, folks, so as you can see here from the task list, the big deal is the Menafite thugs, Pollnivneach bandits, and villagers who I'll be able to pickpocket after completing the feud quest. So I plan to actually leave here in a second and go make sure that the feud is started and I can start working on it. Also, I guess there's 2 trees to chop here, which I may as well do while I'm here right now. I think they're choppable. It might be talking about like palm trees or something that I can't reach, but I'll see what I can find. The house portal, I have to go move my house to Pollnivneach to use it, but I forgot or have never used. I guess there's an unnoting NPC here, a banknotes exchanging person. I don't know where they are, but they're there. And it's only like 5 coins per item. So I can do all my construction training here for like 880 GP without actually having to leave, which is going to be great. Yeah, so it's less than 1k coins to unnote everything I need for construction, which is going to be awesome. I'll just bring it here from Shantae Pass once and do everything. I guess I could also, instead of spending money to get here, I could just teleport here and then step out of the portal. That's, you know, 1 law rune instead of several law runes for construction training. I forgot about the Rogue Trader mini game. So this is an interesting ruling, but when you do the Rogue Trader minigame, you can do parts of it at a time. You can do that little Sudoku puzzle to get a box of runes, and I think you can pick different difficulty tiers for the Sudoku. So I think my ruling is going to be that that is a mini game that I can repeat every cycle, and I can repeat it every cycle whether I've 100% completed the chunk or not. I still would need to complete the chunk if I wanted to just buy from his normal rune store, but if I do the mini game and just accept the box without looking inside of it, I can do that once per cycle for each difficulty tier of Sudoku, which is actually potentially a pretty big influx of runes per cycle. So being able to do Rogue Trader is kind of cool. And then the last thing I wanted to mention here is that this chunk to the south, I did the math, and the section that we would be able to get to that's adjacent to Pollnivneach is unfortunately like 9% of the entire chunk, and my rule for chunk slivers is it has to be less than 5%. So this is going to have to be a rollable chunk. However, there's nothing new here except for the jackal enemy. So my plan is to try to pull a jackal over the chunk boundary like we did with Ents earlier, so that we can say, yes, we've killed jackals before, and if we roll that chunk, it becomes a re-rollable chunk instead of having to light a bonfire there. And I guess the last thing is that the Pollnivneach rooftop course is here, but I don't think we're going to be hitting 70 agility possibly ever. That'll be one of the last things we do depending on what happens elsewhere. I guess I'm going to start working on this. I'm still going to see if I can find these trees. There's supposed to be 2 trees here somewhere. They must be talking about the palm trees. And I think that shooting stars are dropping soon, so I might need to bounce out to get a shooting star before we can do too much here. Okay, the tree the chunk picker's talking about, I just confirmed with certainty, are these two palm trees, so that's not actually a real task. So yeah, I can't do anything here until, I guess I could kill the desert snakes, but I need to go do the feud. So I got to leave here anyway. I'm going to teleport out. I'm going to prepare for the shooting star, and then I'll probably come back with the feud started. All right, we're back in the chunk map once again. Let's talk about our objectives for the episode. As always, feel free to skip ahead back to the playthrough using the time code in the description. First off, 100% completed chunks. These are chunks where we've done everything at least once in a prior cycle. Content in these chunks is optional to complete, so I tend to skip boring things like enemies that drop nothing and regular trees. But more importantly, certain skilling nodes are more productive in 100% completed chunks. In the chunks highlighted in green, we can chop every tree until it turns into a stump. We can fish every fishing spot until the spot moves. We can pickpocket thieving NPCs 28 times each. We can mine shooting stars to depletion, and you'll notice there is a new shooting star this cycle at the Asgarnian Road chunk. We were able to complete that last episode. We can run rooftop courses until a Mark of Grace spawns. There's only just the one still in Draenor Village. And then finally, we can buy out all the shop stocks in 100% completed chunks. So the big change here is just having another shooting star. Last episode, this went up by 2. Now it's up by an additional 1. So we've basically doubled the number of shooting stars available from 2 episodes ago. And this also represents about 12 hours of AFK every cycle, which is more than enough for me to get my video editing in. So let's talk about chunks that have not been 100% completed. Quest blocked chunks we can't complete because there's a quest that we can't do there. Expect a lot of these to remain blocked for an extremely long time because almost all of these quests require chunks from all over the game map. Then we have skill blocked chunks. 2 of these chunks require 82 construction for master stashes, which will probably never happen on this account. The Elder Chaos Druid chunk requires 55 construction, which we're in boost range of. As soon as I hit 55 construction, I'm just going to mark this as complete, whether I actually go and build the stash or not. As I've said before, it's not going to matter. I'm going to kill all of those Chaos Druids every cycle. East Falador, which we unlocked last episode, is blocked by 50 agility to complete the rooftop course, which would be a massive breakpoint for the account. We'd be able to run that course over and over until the Mark of Grace spawns, and it would be a pretty huge boost in cycle-to-cycle agility XP. And our newest chunk, Pollnivneach, is blocked by 70 agility for the rooftop course. That one I think is a lot less realistic, maybe one of the last things we end up doing on this account if we end up going for the soft goal of the quest cape. And quickly, while we're talking about skills, Slayer is still blocked at the moment because I have a Desert Lizards task. The arrows there are pointing to chunks where Desert Lizards can spawn. After that, we have item blocked chunks. It's still just the 2 in Soul Isle. We need a big fishing net and a bird snare. And finally, chunk blocked chunks. There's stuff on the edges of these chunks that we can't get to without rolling additional adjacent chunks first. So that's it for the overview. Let's go ahead and get back to the playthrough. All right, got my first shooting star here. I'm going to get some editing done. We'll come back and do the feud here soon. Ugh, there's 4 people here now. I've been at it for about an hour, but I'm about to completely lose it. So this will be a pretty bad star, unfortunately. All right, because there being 4 people, I only got an hour and 15 minutes instead of 2 hours, but 29K, 1200 Stardust, still pretty good. Let's get back to working on the feud, I guess, although I'm about to sign off for stream, so when I come back, there might be more shooting stars. We'll see. Hey, Future Marstead here real quick from the editing bay. I seem to have had a cold during this episode, so sorry about that. A little mucusy. All right, here we go. Starting the feud quest. All right, headed back to Pollnivneach. Yet another alcohol-themed quest in RuneScape. There are many. This quest was a subject of more of the diversity and inclusion changes, which I think they did it smartly. Instead of having everyone be named Ali, you get to hear their real name after you finish the feud, but they're all still named Ali until the feud is complete. It's like you're becoming more familiar with the town. This quest is actually a pretty good example of a microaggression. Again, don't freak out. Like, I don't think the creators of this quest were bad people or they did anything wrong. But like, one of the main things you have to do in this quest is you have to get this like fake beard to come out here. So you have to like dress like the desert people, right? And it's a way of like subtly othering the people in Pollnivneach. Like, you couldn't fantasize that you're playing RuneScape as a person from Pollnivneach because this isn't like a character creation style that's available to you. You're expected to be, like a European-styled medieval fantasy character, and that this is a strange and exotic place with weird customs, right? So when we use that term, we're saying that, like, they didn't mean anything by it. It's just, hey, this is a cool idea for a quest. Wouldn't it be neat to do a desert area, right? And there's stuff in there that just, if you're not from the, you know, assumed background that most of the player base is from, you might play this quest and feel like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm one of the weird people in this quest. It's one of those things I think it's fine. I think most people don't care, but if they can take steps to improve it that don't, you know, ruin the identity of the quest for most people, it's worth doing. This quest does have you do some real skilling activities like pickpocketing, but you don't get to keep any of the rewards from it. It gives you a middling amount of thieving XP. I think I'm just going to rule that whenever there's a quest, you can do everything within their quest, regardless of, you know, exhaustibility until the quest ends. The traitorous Ali step of this quest is pretty funny. You have to find the traitor within the Metaphytes. Oh, it's that guy named Traitorous Ali. Okay. So they're able to preserve that joke by, you know, saving the name changes until the quest is done. I think that's funny. Like, it's one of those situations where the joke, everyone in this town has the same name, is funny. There's a lot of cultures where making the everybody has the same name joke, like, doesn't land as well. I think people who get mad when the diversity change goes through, they don't understand that, like, everyone agrees that it's really not that big of a deal. It's also not that big of a deal to fix it, you know? Oh, it looks like a shooting star spawn, so I'm going to warp out. I'm probably going to come back here via the house portal if I remember to make it to Varrock and move my house here. Unfortunately, somebody else made it to the shooting star before I got there. So I'm just going to go ahead and move my house to Pollnivneach since I'm here. All right, this is my first time in a lot of hours teleporting to my house and then being able to walk outside. So that's pretty hype for me. Look at that. A medium task to walk in here too. Very cool. Okay, yeah, it's going to be great. In the future, I'm going to bring a bunch of noted construction materials here and a stack of coins, and I'll be able to train without having to teleport constantly. It'll be nice. It sounds like there's a tier 3 star that I can go mine, so I'm going to finish up the feud since that's not going to last for a full 2 hours anyway, and then I'll go do it. Kind of neat that you get a free adamant scimitar out of this. I already have one, and, you know, has been best in slot for a while, but it would have been cool if we had rolled this chunk much earlier. Okay, I've done everything except for talk to Ali Morrisane, so I'm gonna warp out of here. The star that I'm heading to is in Lumbered Swamp West, and I have a house teleport cooldown, so I guess I'll just head over to Soul Wars, deposit stuff, and then walk there. Okay, cool. No one at this star. Like I said, it's definitely gonna run out. I guess it's okay sometimes to have a star that runs out. It's not strictly suboptimal because I guess the final layer of the star, the T1 layer, has way more stardust than any of the other layers. And so if we do a T3 star, I'll get a little bit less AFK and less mining XP, but I'll net get more crafting XP from all of the extra stardust that I can turn into bags of gems. So still suboptimal, I think. I think I want to get as high a tier star as I can for as long as possible until I at least unlock, I guess, Amethyst at 92 mining. Mining, 73. Okay, I got an hour and 38 minutes out of that one. Could have been a little bit better. I could have come here sooner. I didn't realize that my mining level is low enough that a tier 3 star can last me the full 2 hours if I'm solo. So that's why I ended up finishing the feud before coming here. But that's it for that star. I'm going to head back and actually turn in the feud now. There we go. The feud complete. 15,000 thieving XP is actually quite good. Oak Blackjack, Desert Disguise, thieving 58. 2 more to the Summer Garden, and I guess I can't actually pickpocket the Metaphyte Thugs until 65, so that's another interesting thieving level milestone to look forward to. I'm going to see if I can make this Rogue Trader minigame work, Sudoku box, because I think the runes in that are really good, so let me start talking to him. All right, I'm here doing Rogue Trader for the runes. I think that's the only one I even care about. All right, so I don't have a lot of information on how this works because it's the wiki article on it is very sparse, so I'm going to talk to Ali. I'm going to turn in this rune thing. If I remember correctly, I think you get 2 boxes, a simple box and a complicated box, but I'll find out here in a second. Okay, yeah, there's a small casket of runes and a large casket of runes. So going forward, I'm going to make both of those an exhaustible task. Once per cycle, I can get the small casket. Once per cycle, I can get the large casket. And when I actually complete this chunk, I'll be able to just browse his normal rune shop. So this is the small casket. I'm going to see what I can do here. I think I got the first one done. Okay, I got it. Buy all the runes for 836. I think it's cheaper if I don't check. So those are just elemental runes, which isn't super great, but it's, you know, better than my current lack of access to those at all. And now I'll open the complicated one. All right, here's the complicated one. I think I can get law runes and cosmics out of this, which would be great. Let's see. Someone recently added a Sudoku plugin. I just looked it up. That solves it for you, which is great. I can do Sudoku, but this will save me some time. All right, let's see what we get from this casket. This is gonna be kind of exciting because I think all the runes you get are random every time. Oh, it's expensive though. 41k. That's okay. I think I can stay even with that as long as I'm always doing Giant's Foundry. Nice. 34 law runes, 29 cosmic runes. Yeah. I'm going to do this every cycle. Okay, so I added 2 general tasks for Sudoku Easy and Sudoku Hard. And then the actual like shop stock here, where I can buy stuff directly, I can buy this out once, but it won't start to refresh until after I actually 100% this chunk, which is going to require Temple of the Eye, which I still need to do Enter the Abyss for. Yeah, I can get into the shop. I might end up actually buying this out at some point. 100 law runes. I could use that. Getting these law runes is good because I can start putting portals in my player-owned house. If I'm getting 100 here would be enough to build 1 portal. I'm not going to be able to refresh it. But if I'm getting 34 per cycle, then it should only be 3 cycles to be able to build a portal. So that's actually a pretty big change. All right, so I've finished pickpocketing all of the villagers. There's 14 here. This includes the 3 from the quest. I decided I'll just, do the ones from the quest so it doesn't screw up the log here. But the thing that's weird that I don't think I ever appreciated is that you get XP for knocking them out, not for pickpocketing them. You can pickpocket them twice when they're on the ground. I guess it doesn't really matter because I'm not going to be pickpocketing them multiple times, but it's strange to me that you get the XP for knocking them out and then cannot pickpocket them all while they're on the ground. I'm going to work on the bandits next. Killed all of them here. I just have to pickpocket them. Actually, let's leave them tag. That'll help me keep track of which ones I've killed but not pickpocketed. I guess the bandits work differently from the villagers. There's no reason to, why would anyone ever pickpocket a villager when it's more work for the same 8 XP that you get from men and women, right? The bandits, though, it's 10 XP for knocking them out and then 65 XP for actually picking their pocket, which makes a bit more sense. Anyway, I just have to kill the snakes here. I forgot to bring a ranged weapon. I was going to try to bring a ranged weapon and kill some jackals so that I can re-roll that chunk if we roll it. All right, I've killed all the snakes. I'm technically done with what I can do in this chunk, but I do want to come back at some point and, oh, maybe I can actually just grab one from the chunk border here to see if it crosses the boundary. Then I won't have to bring anything back with me. Yeah, I want to kill one of these jackals when it crosses the chunk border so I can say that I've had access to jackals technically. That way, if we were to roll this boring chunk sliver down here, we could, just re-roll. So one of them wandered here. I clicked on it, and then it followed him into the chunk boundary. And so I unlocked the Sunburn music track. Bummer. They do definitely walk into the chunk here. I went to go hit record, and it was a little too late. Just got to wait for one to walk over here. Okay, finally pulled it. If I ever get a dog slayer task, this is going to be annoying if I have to do it over this chunk boundary. Just want to kill one of these guys as a boundary kill, like the Ent, so that we can re-roll down here if we ever get it. Done. Go ahead and add that as a technical task, Jackal. Okay. All done. Let's go do the rest of the cycle now. I guess I'm going to work on mining first. There's a lot to do for mining. All right, over here, collecting pay dirt for the first time in this cycle, hoping I get some nuggets. I got 4 nuggets. Okay, that's making up for last time. I need to get 100. I want to get that upper level really bad. That is going to break this whole thing wide open if I can deplete every node in the Motherlode Mine. All right, this is the end of Motherlode Mine. Give me some nuggets. 2 nuggets. Okay, that's not too bad. 6 nuggets should be about what I get for 6 deposits. All right, those are the totals there at the top of the screen. 75 coal, I'll take it. Pretty good. It'll take a really long time until we can get that upper level, but if we get about 6 nuggets per cycle, maybe. About to hit wood cutting 78. Still our highest skill. Over here at the Soul Wars mine, I got a T4. It's been down for about 30 minutes apparently, so I don't think I'm going to get the full AFK out of it, but we'll see how far we take it. Got a mystery box from a quiz random. Probably nothing. Hard clue scroll. I might be able to do that. I think I have like less than a 1% chance to complete a hard clue, so I'll go check that once this is done. Wow, 2 quiz randoms in a row. 20 nature runes, sure. Good God, I keep getting disconnected. All right, I finished this star though. Decent amount of XP out of it. All right, I think my 3rd star, 4th star? 4th star is available. Yeah, we got 2 more after this. Here comes 74 mining. We might actually get to 85 for a rune. That would be really nice. Doesn't actually affect anything if we can complete the mining guild. I mean, we still have to get amethyst there too, but being able to do all of the mining nodes would be great. This is not a great cycle for shooting stars. Like, keep having people show up at the last second and depleting it. I still got an hour and a half. It's going to end up being about an hour and 40 minutes, which isn't bad, but still it's kind of a bummer. Well, something got called out in a CC. That's all I can... There's 10 people on this thing right now. All right, ended up being like 15 people here in the last couple seconds. I'm going to get back to skilling. All right, got a tier 6 shooting star here, which is great. I got a lot of stuff I need to do. Well, I finally got a full star that time, although it disintegrated about 13 minutes early, which is unfortunate. 1 more to go, the Dwarven Mine. I think I'm going to get a farming level from clicking this. Yeah, farming 41. Got a 2-step easy casket. That's really exciting. I had to drop that hard clue scroll from before. I forgot that I had banked it. I didn't realize that it was actually up north of the PvP arena, so I couldn't get to it. Wouldn't have been able to complete it anyway. All right, easy casket. There's still some good stuff we could get from this. Let's just open it and see what we got. Well, that's not it. Collection log item, okay. Okay, it's time to do our agility. Been really unlucky on the last several episodes. I'm hoping that it takes a while for the Mark of Grace to spawn, but I will report back. 6 laps. Womp womp. I had that one lap, that one golden cycle where it was like 24 laps or something. Oh man, I stepped away to go to the bathroom and a genie spawned, but I sat down just in time before it despawned. Working through pickpocketing women right now. Throwing that sucker on Hunter.
Warning.
Which is
Level
not
up
a level up. We will get a level up on the next lamp. Just got 59 thieving, 1 more level to go. I'm getting like 20k per cycle, so I don't think it's going to be next episode, but maybe the episode after that. Depends on if we unlock any new chunks with thieving nodes in them. 59 fishing. All right, I'm just about done with, well, I am done with woodcutting, fishing, and thieving, and basically mining. I just have this last star to do. I'm going to pop on and do Temporos, and I'm probably going to start working on PVM here soon. Wow, I really screwed up my Temporos run somehow. I don't know what I did, but somehow I got Temporos back down too fast the second time. So I'm going to have way fewer reward permits this time, unfortunately. I'm just coming to finish the game rather than lose and attempt it again and get a bunch of extra fishing XP. Yeah, only 7 permits there. I'll have to, like... I didn't record it. I have to figure out what happened. Oh, I know exactly what I did. Okay, 4, 8, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19 is how many fish I have to do on the second and third load. And I put my harpoon here and assumed that I was counting up to this spot. I need to put it there. Okay. At least I know what the mistake was. I should be able to fix that pretty easily next time. Let's see what we get from the reward permits here. All right. Probably nothing. Book pages, that's new. All right. I feel like this Temporos has been good to me in terms of food. Yeah, 416 salmon. I should cook all of that because I think I'll start using that as opposed to stew. It heals 9 instead of the 11 that stew heals, but it's just a lot easier to cook. Doesn't leave a bowl in my inventory. All right, so things are a little weird here. I was playing, I happened to wake up early and was playing during the middle of the huge like server outage and the game was out for almost 24 hours. And it looks like all the Minotaurs I killed, it rolled me back. I should have 2 skull right halves and I have 0. I wonder, did it roll me all the, did I lose my Onkos too? Oh my God. It's hard for me to tell what did and didn't get saved. I think I'm just going to reset the stuff in the loot tracker that clearly got wiped out. Okay, so I think the Onko's stuck. Looks like the big zombie stuck. Top of Scepter. Okay, Catablepins didn't stick. I think means Flesh Crawlers didn't stick, which is a bummer because they had a really good Flesh Crawler run there. Hold on. Yeah, okay, so I went in there, did Onkos and zombies, popped out. I think I know why it put me where it put me, because I actually loaded in near the Asgardian mine, or the Dwarven mine shooting star, because I had hopped to see if there was a shooting star there. So I think that was the last save point before the server outage. And I totally lost these Catablepins, these Flesh Crawlers, and these Minotaurs, which is a bummer. So I'm just going to reset them here. I think I can reset... Okay, I can reset individual things. I'm just going to go back and do these 3 enemies again. That sucks. It's like an hour. I guess it could have been worse. It could have been like a KQ kill or something. All right, I did Cataplepins. So difference is I got 4 Law Runes when previously I got 0 Law Runes. I got 2 Top of Scepters when previously I got 1. I got 4 Coal when previously I got 0. I didn't get any Cosmic Runes. Before the roll back, I got 2 Cosmic Runes. All right, Flesh Crawlers are done. Came way down on Iron Ore, sadly. I had 20 Iron Ore before the rollback, and this time I only got like 12. All right, it was more like half an hour of time lost. Not that big of a deal. Comparing this to what I had pre-rollback, I didn't finish the Minotaurs pre-rollback. I was in the middle of fighting them when the server crashed. Came out the same, better on Copper and Tin, and better on Bronze Full Helms, which is all I care about. I had 2 skull pieces, but I don't care about that. The Skull Scepters effectively got infinite charges for me now. Guess now for real I'm going to go do Soul Wars. Finally had a good game there. I was on the winning team. 50 Zeal, 30 Zeal on the next game. Still pretty good. It's pretty high above the 60 expected. I can get 3 Spoils of War, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to go look for the final shooting star for the cycle. All right, 3 Spoils of War, hoping for coal. That is not coal. Gems are really bad now. Oh, that's not good. All right, it's not great, but about to get a strength level here as I work on... Wait, there should be a star spawning here soon, I hope. 76 strength. So while killing all these dwarves, I got a uncut diamond. Thanks to... I'm probably going to get a lot of these now, thanks to the Ring of Wealth. That is a 1 in 4,000 drop. Still pretty far off from the 1 in 41,000 Dragon Spear from those guys. Well, I found a T9 star. I'm going to come out here with my main and try to mine it down to 7. Seems like this is actually an extremely popular place for people to solo stars because it's annoying to get to. There's somebody else here, probably okay. I'm only going to get like an hour out of it, I think, if I drop off with my main account, assuming nobody else shows up, we'll see. Never mind. A bunch of people just showed up to it. Gonna try this again, got a T8, mining it down on my main really quick. See if anybody else shows up to it in the meantime. All right, I'm mining it. There's another person here, but I'm just gonna deal with it. Still working on that shooting star, but I got a maze random. That's exciting. That almost never happens for me for whatever reason. All right, what we get? Steel arrows, feathers, and coal. 68 coal. Very good. This thing is about to despawn in any second. 75 mining. Yeah, I was cutting it close. Just despawned like a minute or 2 later. All right, 75 mining. It's pretty big. 85 is the one I really care about because 85 is practically the end of mining for this account. Obviously, I'm going to keep mining past that, but 85 lets us mine runite ore, and that would be the last thing that would block me from being able to 100% complete a chunk. Everything else on this list doesn't really matter for that purpose. I mean, we wouldn't be able to complete Amethyst. We wouldn't be able to complete the Mining Guild until getting Amethyst at 92, but it's not really a high priority chunk for me to complete. I still actually want to mine everything there and probably will for a long time. But it's going to take a long time to get to 85. When we get there, though, it'll just be nice to know going forward that mining isn't going to block me from completing anything. All right, so I got about 10,000 Stardust. I'm going to turn this all in for gem bags, and then I'm going to calculate. I'm not going to worry about actually cutting gems until I have enough to get to... I think it's 70 crafting. Yeah, 70 crafting is when I can make an Amulet of Power. Yeah, pretty good haul here. 780k worth of gems. Let's see what that does for the XP calculator. All right, the calculator projects level 66 crafting with all the deposits I just made. So we'll keep at it. I might stop killing cows soon because I'm just getting so much more crafting XP on average from gems. Takes a really long time for me to kill 83 cows and 27 cow calves every cycle, and I have the option to skip almost all of those, if not all of those. I think they're all in completed chunks. So I completely forgot that I can buy out this shop stock, and I probably want to. At least I want to buy out the garden pies and the fish pies. I guess I don't care about anything else. I should be buying these every cycle. This will be really helpful in the future if I need to boost farming for something or fishing for something. I just double checked. I don't want any of the earlier pies. They're all just food. So yeah, I'm gonna add 2 garden pies, 1 fish pie to this list here. All right, purchase. We're just gonna do that once per cycle. I'm SOL on the ones that I didn't buy before. I just forgot that it was an unlocked thing in this chunk. Agility 37. But I learned to do this the hard way, the Limpert way, because it built character, but man, never again. So much better with this Colossal Blade. Someone just came in here right as I got the phase change and ruined my kill credit. I love how they don't see the lights outside, they run in. Got it. All right, I gotta do this all over again. Oh, and I have to run all the way back because I don't have a rope anymore. Sick. All right, I made it back here. I respect Jagex a lot, and I think they make a lot of decisions that make sense, but making so that if any other iron enters the zone, and if the boss briefly turns to face them, that you just permanently lose credit is questionable at best. Like, if they're going to do that, then they shouldn't even let other irons into the same instance. Like, what's even the point, right? It's just so that you can do the limper cheat in the most, like, ridiculous way possible. All right, back to phase 2. All right, kill completed. What we get? Torstal seeds. At least we got the kill. That's all that matters. All right, so I'm nearing the end of the cycle. I still have Giant's Foundry, Sorceress's Garden, Construction, Last Man Standing, and a couple straggler tasks to do. All right, just hit 71 smithing, which should be another mold here. And the last mold for a very long time. Hopefully the next thing I'm going to be able to buy is the smithing outfit. We'll see. Yeah, buying this guy, Fleur de Blade. Heavy 18, pretty good. No, I don't want Juggernaut, Forte, or Corrupted Point. So there's really only 3 to go, and they're all, you know, around level 80. So I'm not going to see those for a minute. All right, I'm done with Giant's Foundry. Ended up making about 65k smithing XP, which is pretty good. I don't think I'm going to be super attentive to or care much about smithing XP for a while, though, because there's really nothing on the horizon for it. Runecraft 43. Oh, hey, getting a Runecraft 43 got us to total level 1250, which actually might matter. That expands some of the worlds we can access. Okay, so I'm about to experiment with training construction using the actual house portal for the first time. I'm going to teleport there once to make all these rusty swords and damaged armors, get that all repaired, and then go back and bank it. Then I'm going to teleport one more time and then just try to do everything from that location. So we'll give it a shot, see how it goes. First things first here, let's repair all this stuff. What I get? Not too bad. 2 bronze, 2 iron, and a steel plate body, and I guess I got 1 longsword, or no, 3 longswords. That's not terrible. Fortunately, completing the feud and doing part of Rogue Trader reduces the carpet cost to 100 coins, so it's not too bad. Okay, looks like, you know, getting everything unnoted is pretty cheap, so it'll be worth the law rune savings. I think, given how cheap rugs are now, I can just not use law runes at all for construction training and just only do this. I think this should be fine. All right, about to actually hit 55 construction. I have no construction goals for a long time, but I'm going to keep plugging away at it because it could be relevant in the distant future. All right, I'm all done with construction training. This was so much better. Saved lots and lots of Skull Scepter charges, lots and lots of law runes. Didn't actually spend that much money to unnote everything. It was pretty cheap on the whole. Gonna do that from now on. Also, it's nice having the noted stacks of planks so I know how close I am to being done. Makes it a little bit easier to track everything. All right, so that pretty much just leaves Last Man Standing. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll summarize the chunk. All right, here we go. Last Man Standing. I'd really like to get some extra points here and there for reasons. I'm having a real rough time of it today. I've been at this for 30 minutes, and I've only gotten 3 points so far. I am playing at prime time on like a Saturday, but I got 1 more point. I need to get 3 more. All right, I got 4 points. So it was a total of 8, so we're 1 ahead. Okay, I'm done. Let me get out of here. I'm going to head to Giant's Foundry to sum up here. All right, here we are. It's time to sum up. Let me go through this a little bit more quickly this time. Wood cutting, we did everything. Fishing, we did everything. Thieving, we did everything. Mining, we did everything. Runecraft, there's a bunch of combo runes I couldn't do. Farming, as usual, I didn't do absolutely everything in farming. Did everything I could for agility. Everything I can in Sorceress's Garden. Construction's all good. Couldn't get the steel nails again this cycle. And other tasks are all complete. Let's look at XP. I gotta put that up 1 sec. All right, got the XP set up here on the right. Again, lots of mining XP, good amount of strength XP, good amount of woodcutting XP. I'll show you the deltas here in a second, but this is kind of the gist of XP gains. Deltas compared to last cycle, most of that thieving XP is from the feud being completed and the handful of things I'm able to pickpocket there in Pollnivneach. Extra smithing XP is from getting extra coal with which to make more mithril bars. I also tried to squeeze out as many like bronze swords as I could this time. Everything else is pretty standard, or at least explainable by previous cycles, right? I didn't get 385,000 magic XP this time because I didn't grind body runes for 12 hours. The new figure I want to start showing now is the average XP I get over all cycles. I haven't done any fancy math to it. It's just we've been tracking XP this way for long enough that I feel like I can actually show a meaningful average. You can see that in general, skills that do really, really well are getting at least 20k or more XP. Skills that are particularly slow are sub 20k or even sub 10k. But in general, most of our skills are kind of comparable in how much XP we're able to get on average. The average across all of these is 7,500. So yeah, anything above here that's higher than 7,500 is higher than I would get average across all skills. And I guess I'll show you last of all the delta to average. So this is the difference between the amount of XP I got this cycle and what the average is across all cycles. There it is. We get 164,000 more mining XP than average, 78,000 more strength XP than average, and so on. A lot of these just coming from getting access to more nodes, right? Getting such a huge chunk of mining XP is eventually the average will catch up as I'm getting that every single cycle, but it's only recently that we've been able to mine so many shooting stars. Live split timer here, 37 hours, 3 minutes. That's quite a bit better than the 53 hours it took us to do last cycle. Total time played 33 days and 5 hours. Got a handful more things to walk you through here. Let's look at the scroll of kills. Starting to consider skipping more things, skipping goblins, skipping cows, just to try to speed things up a bit, but I haven't made a decision one way or the other on that yet. Got to show you supplies before doing last man standing. I guess that reveals how bad I was at last man standing here. But anything that's not a shark, a karambwan, or like a super combatter or something was the actual usage here. Down to only 5 law runes used, which is quite nice. Random event history. Not as lucky this time around. I got that one genie, and that's about it. It's been a while. At the bank, pretty much just stuff for the feud. Guess we got a snake spine, some soaked pages, 6 gold nuggets. I guess I picked up flyers for the first time for some reason from imps, and some purple sweets. Let me clean those up real fast. All right, let's do our bank scroll. Excellent, and finally the bank comparison. So we're ahead on lots of runes this time because of access to the Rogue Trader Sudoku shop. I'm going to be opening that box once per cycle. This hopefully means that I can start building some permanent portals inside my POH, which would be really nice to have. Came out ahead on coins, just barely, but we still came out ahead. Okay, that's all there is to cover. Let's roll the new chunk. Okay, folks, we're here. This part of the map is pretty messy. I'm going to talk about the stuff that's new here. I'm going to start using some of these skilling icons. I think it's a little bit more informative than, thumbs up or thumbs down, because this chunk to the north has lizards in it, which will let me restart my Slayer task, which would be really cool. This chunk, because I pulled the jackal over the chunk boundary and killed 1 jackal, there's nothing new here. I mean, there's a little genie dungeon for a quest, but nothing that's actually new to us or anything we can do anything with. So this is a reroll chunk. We can't get across to this side, even though it's adjacent. And this chunk, so this one is a reroll, and it's slightly more than 5%. This one's like right around 5%, but there's nothing in this area here, or this area here. It's completely empty. So we're going to say this isn't a rollable chunk until we can get at it, either from the north, I guess, or from down here. So everything else is the same as before. If you want to hear my comments on all these chunks, go back to previous episodes. Last episode I reviewed my top 9 chunks. Top 3 are all gold. The next top 3 are all silver. The bottom top 3 are all bronze. Yeah. Anyway, let's roll a chunk. Let's go. Give me something good. Monastery Ditch. This is a reroll. Excellent. Okay, yeah. That's actually going to let me get into the monastery. I guess I have two ways to get into the monastery now. So let me roll over there really quick. Since there's nothing new here, we can just go there, do everything there is to do, skip the bonfire, and then come back to the chunk picker. So I'm going to do that right now. All right, heading up there now. 10 scorpions, 60 trees, and 8 oaks to chop. So it should be pretty quick. All right, let's cross the fog wall here. Sweet. A new track unlocked. I guess I never bumbled into this place. Let's start chopping these trees. Ooh, I don't know if we can actually finish this chunk. Because I don't think I can get up there. Try. No, I cannot. It's another group of trees that probably no one ever chops. It's still a reroll chunk. It just means that I can't 100% it, which means I can't. I'm going to have to chop these trees and kill the scorpions here every cycle. I'm not going to get 8 extra oak trees, sadly. All right, I just chopped my last tree that I can get to, and I think I've killed all 10 scorpions. It can be hard to tell since I don't actually get loot from them most of the time. I'm going to figure out how many trees I actually have access to and update my counts, and then we'll pop back into the chunk picker here in a second. All right, updated the task list there. It's 43 trees and 3 oaks that I can get to. Let's head back to the chunk picker. Okay, no big changes as a result of that roll, although this is now a rollable chunk and it is a reroll. All that's there are dark wizards, and we already have dark wizards, so no change. Let's pick a chunk here. Come on, big money. Okay, that's the Ent Forest, and the Ent Forest is a rerollable chunk because we've already killed that Ent before. I think we've actually killed 2 of them that have wandered over. So I need to go over there now and kill all 4 Ents that spawn there. I think that's all that's there. Yeah, that's it. This game really wants to give me wilderness chunks. I have a lot of wilderness chunks. I'm going to head over in that direction. We will kill all 4 Ents and wood chop them, and then we'll roll another one. Okay, crossing the fog wall. Sweet, and we're not doing a bonfire, so let's kill these Ents. Mercifully, these trees are not real. Oh my god, that would be so mean if those were real trees. These guys have annoyingly high defense. They do die eventually, though. All right, let's chop this guy. Ooh, I got some magic logs. That's actually kind of cool and unexpected. That might matter. Medium task for chopping yews from them, apparently. I have to start keeping an eye on my accounts. It's going to be a really long time until I can get my fletching high enough to make a magic shortbow, but it would be a pretty huge upgrade if I could do it. Yeah, I don't have anywhere near enough. Okay, but I'll keep an eye on it. You never know. I'm actually not sure if I already set precedent on whether I'm allowed to fully chop the Ent. Probably can't, so I probably need to make up for that next cycle. I'll still kill all 4 Ents next cycle, but one of them I will only chop once instead of multiple times. Okay, and fix it like instantly. 3rd Ent down. I'm gonna chop the log once, then we'll go track down the 4th one. I don't know where it is. So happy these trees aren't real. Here's the last one up here. Okay. All right, that's the last Ent. Victory achieved. This chunk is done. Means in the future I can come here and fully chop trunks. I'm sure it was fine for me to do it in the first place, but abundance of caution and all that. Let me get out of here and let's roll another one. Okay, I made it out. Let's go back to the chunk picker. All right, so the only change here is that we now have this chunk is rollable, which is the black salamanders chunk. Because there are black salamanders there and I will not be able to catch them, that sucks twice. I won't be able to do anything there, which is a bummer. And I'm going to have to light a bonfire there if we roll it. So I'm going to start converting some of these. I think probably for next episode, I'll try to convert all these thumbs up and thumbs downs into skilling icons, wherever it's relevant. But yeah, that's the only change, so let's roll again. Big money. Oh, okay. I think this is less bad for me than it would be. I hate Mage Training Arena. Who doesn't? It's probably the worst content in the entire game. Or it's close to it. But it's maybe not so bad. I think the rule is I'm going to have to come up with a minigame ruling. I would say I can only do each game once per cycle, but what does it mean to do some of them once per cycle? Like 1 maze per cycle? I don't know if I can get the rewards if I only do that. So I'll have to do some math for next episode to figure out what exactly I am allowed to do. There are magic trees here, so short-lived enjoying those magic logs. Can chop them, because I am 75 magic. I think I'm going to be able to 100% complete this chunk. I guess there's some interesting things that can come from this. It's going to take probably thousands of hours for me to get enough points from the Mage Training Arena to buy anything useful from it. Yeah, and I'm going to spend time thinking on how I'm going to handle points there. I want to make sure that I can actually get the relevant rewards from that place by the time the account is done. And that's probably going to mean that I have to do more than just one thing, you know, in each minigame category. But I'll do that math and let you know next episode. Hey, it's Future Marsh said. I'll just go ahead and let you know now. My ruling for Mage Training Arena is based on the no double dipping rule with restrictions. You're already restricted on how much you can do Mage Training Arena based on how many runes you have. So there's no reason to double restrict the minigame. It's going to be like Giant's Foundry, right? As long as I have enough bars, I can do Giant's Foundry as much as I like, but I run out of bars every single cycle. Same thing for Mage Training Arena. I can do it as much as I like, but eventually I would run out of runes. And if you're new to the series, this is another good point to stress that this is not an extreme one chunk account. An extreme one chunk account would have to get every last reward from this chunk in order to call it complete. I just need to exhaust all of the tasks there. So I just need to chop the magic trees there and do each minigame one time. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.